Hey, welcome to another episode of Open Minded Conversations. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. A lot of great information, a lot of great conversations. And today I have my bro, Mark. Glad he could join me on this part 3 of What is the True Religion. I had great conversations with my friend Steve, Trey now, my friend Mark. And how your day been, Mark?
It's been good so far, man.
Been good.
Can't complain, good. You know. Got some work done, so that's always good, I guess.
Yeah. And so as we think about religion, it's a very, big topic in society for centuries. We always have, arguments and debates about religion. What's the right religion? What's the true religion? Like the name of the show. And the thing about religion, people are born in different religions. And so, how can you tell someone that their religion is the right religion? And and what religion were you born in, since you was young?
Since I was young, man, I was pretty much born into Christianity.
Yeah.
Started off in like the non-denominational type churches, then switched over to like Kojic.
Yeah.
Did that for a little while, a little bit of Baptist, and that's pretty much just kind of in and out of the different like church sectors.
Yeah. And the thing about Christianity and the other two people I had up here, they was born in Christianity as well. Within Christianity, it's so many denominations. You have Baptists, you have Methodists, you have, like you said, Church of God in Christ, and it's a lot of confusion. How you feel about those different denominations within Christianity?
It's extremely confusing, man, because I feel like they're all kind of saying the same thing. They're all kind of, well, not saying the same thing, but they're all worshiping the same God. They're all reading from the same Bible.
Yeah.
But it's like the way they're set up, it's like it's just different, and they're like in competition with each other.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like you got people who are young, they're looking at all these different sectors, and they don't know which one to choose.
Yeah. Yeah, like me, I was raised Baptist, but it seems like when I went to other churches and I hear the pastor or whoever's in charge, the flock, they preach, it's like a totally different doctrine, besides what I was raised in. And that's the kind of confusing part. Is like, people go to church, they're like, what is the true thing?
Right.
Some people believe in washing feet, some people believe in doing communion, baptism, and stuff like that. And that's where the confusion come in. And I think a lot of and how you feel young people feel about church these days?
I mean, well, I'll say when we were young, we're the same age and everything, so
yeah
when we were young, it's like we were kind of like forced to kind of go to, like, our parents went to church, our grandparents were in church, like everybody was like older. It's like now, those older people are kind of like dying off, and the younger people, they're just not really going as much. The reason, I think people are just, I don't know, I think people they're tired of seeing this thing. They're tired of seeing like older generations, how they go to church, they worship, they scream, they run around, they do all that
antics
and exactly. You look out in the hood or wherever else, and it's like it's no change.
Yeah.
So people, they get tired of that. They want something different,
Yeah, and that's the confusing part. And like in every state, it's like you have a church, and then you have a hood. And
every
being
corner.
Us being from VA, like Norfolk, it's so many different cities. It's always a hood part, and then it's always like a well built development, for the other people, I would say. But
The white people.
the white people, and Caucasian.
Right.
But white people. But it's just crazy, these churches, they build, all these big churches in the hood, and it's like, where's the money to help, the community? And then when the people from the hood comes into the church, it's like, wait, what are you doing here? It's
right.
Yeah.
Also, too,
So,
let me say, it's like,
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, you go ahead.
I also could say like I went to like a Baptist church maybe like 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah.
I was going with a friend of mine. I'll just say that, and it was my first time going there and whatnot. And
yeah,
it's like as soon as I walked in there, it's like people were just looking at me like I was crazy.
Yeah.
Like it was just this vibe of like, why are you in here? We don't know who you are. Like kind of like judgmental type of vibe. And I think a lot of churches, especially like in the black community, they don't really treat outsiders well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like a club. Yeah.
A club.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like if you weren't raised and born in this church and you're a stranger, you don't belong here.
Right. I don't think Jesus would like that too much, He said, "Come as you are," right?
Come as you. Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that.
They looking at you like you crazy. So it's like, come on, man.
Yeah. And so, you being, you was born into Christianity. You got older. What are some things that you question, as you got older about, the Bible and stuff like that? What are like main things?
Well, to be real, like I don't know if I ever completely believed in it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was like what you had to do because your parents took you to church.
Yeah, not only that, it's just the whole, I guess, raining for 40 days or 40 nights, talking to snakes, donut being swallowed in a well. There's all these stories that I heard. I would question it as a kid. I would ask my parents. I was like, how in the world did this happen in the Bible?
Yeah,
that don't make sense. And it's like they could never give me an answer.
Yeah,
they would always say, "Oh, just pray about it." And after a while, you get older. You start, you start just doing research and stuff, and then eventually you kind of like you just fall off of it.
Yeah, and the biggest question I asked as I got older is like, how did God speak to me? Like a lot of preachers be like, the Lord spoke to me and told me to tell you. It's like, why he can't tell me?
Right.
Why he got to tell you?
Why do we need a middleman for?
Yeah, and that's always been my thing about the Bible and stuff like that. It's just basically it's their God and how God looks, because no one hasn't seen God, living, being a human, and what's kind of your beliefs now, like in general? Are you still into the faith, or you kind of changed beliefs as you got older?
Like we were saying earlier, there's like a whole lot of different religions. Yeah. And it's just like, if there's only one God, it's like, why are there thousands of religions? Yeah. And it's just like, I'm at the point now where, I'm not like a complete atheist. I still do believe that there's a God.
Yeah.
Somebody had to have created all
created
this
everything.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the way everything is set up all perfectly, and the fact that we can live on Earth and not burn to death and stuff like that. There's got to be something up there. But
Yeah.
when it comes to like
Yeah.
religion, it's just like I don't really know what to think about it, so I kind of just said, you know what, F it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my own thing,
Yeah.
But if I learn more information, I'm willing to like go back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not like completely closed off. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and as when you're talking about, the Bible, it talks about 40 days and 40 nights and all that stuff. I believe, I think Christians take it very literal. Like, Adam and Eve ate an apple. Jonah being swallowed up by a fish. Jesus being tempted so many days and nights. I think even the Bible itself, it says that things have double meanings, and so I don't to me, looking, growing and studying, the Bible for myself and stuff, I believe that it's a double meaning to everything, because a lot of people connect the Bible to numerology, stuff like that, and it's I believe it's more meaning to what we've been taught as we since we was young. And
so
a lot of people
it's like
yeah,
you think it's like a metaphor almost for something else, or
yeah, exactly. I think it's a metaphor for a lot of, we don't exactly know what it is yet, because honestly, we didn't write we didn't get the inspiration ourselves to write these things in the Bible. And so who knows what things in the Bible really mean, as far as a serpent talking to Eve in the garden of Eden. It may be a different meaning, it may be a person, or it's just a lot of questions I've asked reading the Bible for myself and learning these things, and
right.
And a lot of different religions, a lot of different denominations, certain topics like suicide, you go to one church, people say you're going to hell for suicide, and then some saying you're not going to hell if you just believe, or things like that. And that's a deeper conversation about things like salvation. Like I always had the question, if you believe, they said only if you believe, you'll be saved, and you have a whole book. You have a whole book of commandments telling you, don't do this, don't do that. And so how can you say, only if you can only believe, you can believe and you'll, make it to heaven. And you're like, what's the use of having the whole Bible? So
it really, like, when you really think about it logically, a lot of it doesn't make sense. And like you said earlier, if you think about it, like, the Bible was written by a man, and they of course they said it was God inspired, but like, how do we know that? Like me and you right now could come up with a religion, you know what I'm saying? It could spread to like millions of people, and like 1,000 years from now, people will look back and say, okay, Mark Victor and JG, those dudes, they knew what was up, know. They'll end up following our religion, and we just came up with it. So I always thought about that too, Go ahead.
And I do believe though that the Bible has a lot of prophecy, that's happened, and a lot of philosophy that has benefited a lot of people throughout history, as far as things to be taught about wisdom and understanding, different things about life, and about a husband and a wife, and things like that. But going back to the structure of the church, how do you feel about it's always a lot of hypocrisy in the church? Why do people want to go to church, and people in the church do the same exact thing How you feel about that hypocrisy?
I think that's one of the main reasons. I think that's what keeps a lot of people away, because it's like they say when you become, I guess, saved or whatever, you're supposed to do away with like the worldly, everything in the world. You become like a new man in God or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like when you see like the preacher sleeping with the choir member,
Yeah.
They embezzling money. You might see him, cursing one day. It's like they act just like everybody else. So it's like people see that.
Yeah.
They just say, okay, what's the point? Because
yeah.
They're doing the same thing,
Yeah. And I know this is a touchy topic. And I just thought about this. It's a pastor that's like big in I believe the Church of God in Christ. And I know Jamal Bryant, Pastor Jamal Bryant.
Yeah, I heard of him.
New Birth.
Oh,
and
that's
so
Atlanta, right?
Yeah, Georgia. Yeah, Atlanta,
Okay,
Georgia.
yeah.
And this pastor, Bishop Wooden, he says he rebuking Pastor Jamal Bryant about how he feel about the community, the alphabet community. I'll keep it like that. And and that's the thing, some pastors are for it and some pastors are against it. And so it's just that hypocrisy, that the Bible that you teach and preach to the people says something against it, but
right.
Some pastors are for it. So how you feel about that confusion?
Man, I live in Atlanta, and that's like there's literally a whole strip of like gay churches.
Yeah,
like
yeah. I saw one on the Facebook the other day. I couldn't believe it. They had a first man and all that stuff. Yeah.
Pride flags all in the front, and
wow.
it's just crazy. It's like you were saying, man. It's like,
yeah, it
clearly says in the Bible. I don't even know the verse, don't.
Yeah,
but it's Leviticus something.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it specifically says, man should not lie down with man.
Women should not
lie down with women. Yeah. And it's like they accept this, and I think the reason why is because they want more. It's a business.
Yeah.
What I'm saying? They want to be inclusive and add more people, so they have more money, pretty much.
Yeah, and that's a big thing I have about churches too. It's more of like a popularity contest. It's like, how many members you got? How many members you got? But it's not about. It's not really about salvation. It's not about knowing the person's name that go to your church. It's just about how many people is on your roster. How much money I can collect from the congregation. How much money can I get to get a jet to fly wherever I want to go. Yeah. So, and and speaking of Creflo, he recently denounced that he doesn't follow the tithes and offering doctrine anymore, and and a lot of people,
the fakest people ever, dog.
And
I went to this church for like a year, man. And, oh man, the spirit was not there, man. It was not there.
So how was your experience, during the church service? How did you actually feel like
during his service?
Yeah.
Or just in general? His
service. Just as his service, yeah.
It just, like you were saying, it felt like a party.
Yeah.
Almost like a concert. It's like at his church they do like 4 different offerings.
Wow.
They do like a seed faith offering. Of course, they do a tithe. It's like 2 other ones, but I forgot what it's called.
Yeah.
But they do every 30 minutes they do an offering.
Yeah, I've been to it. It's crazy. I've been to a church. I ain't saying no names though, but I've been to a church where they collect money to get the pastor a Bentley.
What?
Yeah.
So that was the name of the fund? A Bentley fund?
it was something like that, but it was something they to buy the pastor Bentley, and I was like,
That's crazy.
It's that's ridiculous. But and that's another thing about tithes and offering. You know, we were both raised, you know, pay your tithes and offerings, and you know, my belief in it has changed as far as tithes and offerings. You know, me studying it for myself, I've learned that it's about crops and plants. And that crops, you know, in the Bible, it wasn't really about money.
Yeah.
You know, reading it for myself. And how you feel about the tithes and offering doctrine?
And to be honest, like when I first figured out that it wasn't biblical, or at least a part of the New Testament, like I saw a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Some dude came on, you know, he was just saying that, I think the title of the video was like, why I don't tithe anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I clicked on it. It's like he was just breaking it down, like how it had nothing to do with money.
Yeah.
You know, it was about, you know, the crops and the animals and all that. And I went to the Bible and did my research, and sure enough, it said it right there.
Yeah.
And then I was so pissed. I was like, oh man, all this time.
Gave all that money.
Dang, man, I could have saved up and you know.
Yeah. But you know, I still give offering, but I don't do the tithe because I feel like it's a pressure for people.
Yeah.
You know, they use Malachi 3:8. Will a man rob God? You know, all this stuff, and it's like everybody's getting nervous. Like, oh, I need to pay my tithes, and then they know they got a car bill, they got a light bill around the corner. I think God teaches you to be wise. You know, I don't think He teaches you to be stupid about. You know, you give your money to the church, and sometimes most churches they do the wrong thing with your money. So
exactly. Like I could see like if they were using the money to like help out the community. You know, maybe they were doing like a toy drive or like a, you know, back to school event, or you know, just or maybe if they just give people like skills that they need in the world to help them find like employment and you know, do something like that instead of just preaching the same way every Sunday. I wouldn't mind giving them money because you know it would benefit the people. It would make more sense. You know.
And you know what? You know, currently, what does God mean to you?
That's a good question. I think God is everything. You know, I don't think it's a human.
It's a
I think
spirit.
It's something that's so big that we can't even like understand it.
Can't fathom.
That's what I think.
And you know, I've heard different, even you know, looking at YouTube a lot. You know, some people saying that God is a female, God is a male, but you know, like you said, I feel God is everything. And when you know you hear celebrities talk about the universe, stuff like that. To me, I don't really have a problem with it, but a lot of church people, you know, they like, it ain't no universe, it's God, the only God, you know, stuff like that.
Whatever. maybe the man was sinning. Come on, man. Get
out. So, you know, you just think about that, you know, people, you know, these celebrities say the universe, you know, and you know, God is the whole world. If you think of it logically, you know, and you know, we used to say when we was little, God, you know, He got the whole world in His hands, and so if God is everything, can't He be the universe too? So
exactly,
they just not thinking. They thinking like
He created the universe, so wouldn't He be a part of it? Come on, man. It's hard to understand. Go ahead.
It's, you know, like you said, it's logical. Yeah. And so, you know, when you talk to people, man, how do you talk to people or explain to people, you know, your beliefs now, you know, telling people, you know, what you believe, you know, how do you approach that?
Well, I mean, my family pretty much already knows where I'm at with it. Like, they're not like where I'm at with it, but they don't really subscribe to like religion anymore either.
Okay.
They're not really heavy in the church.
Okay.
Like that, you know, but you know, they pretty much understand, you know, where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Like they're not like judgmental or saying, "Oh, you're gonna go to hell" and all that. You know, they understand it.
And that's good, you know, to have a family that understands. And you know, it's good, you know, even, you know, my family, I may have some different beliefs now in certain things, like holidays and stuff like that, Christmas and stuff, you know. I don't get, you know, me and my wife, we don't really get serious into Christmas anymore, because, you know, just learning more things about what Christmas is really all about. We don't really get serious. We don't really put up Christmas trees and all that stuff. And you know, I saw one of your video.
Do people think that's weird to do that? Like, just like your neighbors or family, friends?
Oh yeah, they think it's they were like, "What's wrong with you now?" And you know, even if you explain the whole story of why you don't believe, it's still like a hypnosis. You know, they're like, "Why you don't put up the Christmas tree?" Because we are so our brain is so warped into those things, and we can't. we can't.
It is. I'm sorry to be so blunt, but that's just what it is.
And we can't, you know, get out of that. and we can't get out of that. I'm trying. And we can't get out. And we can't get out of that, you know, that mindset. And it's just a lot about you know, holidays, you know, 4th of July and stuff like that, you know, that we celebrate, even Thanksgiving and stuff like that. But you know, you try to explain to people, and like you said, people are so brainwashed that they still, you know, get into these things even though they know it's not, you know, right to do, or you know, it doesn't really connect with what they believe. And so, you know, appreciate you for being up here, you know, sharing your thoughts about religion. It was good to have you up here because, you know, you're kind of from a different perspective than the last two I had up here. So it's good to see different, you know, different sides to it. So appreciate you for being on the show. And thank y'all for tuning in to Open-Minded Conversations. All right, peace.
All right, peace out.
All right.